Bust it.
Hello and thanks for staying with us. Welcome to Political Platform. My name is Ait Political. Beautiful Monday morning here at the nation's capital. We are standing at the zenith of Baduma Hill, a height of approximately 800 feet above sea level. And from here, from the platform we are standing in, we can see the entire country. We can see Zamfara State, where bandits have been indeed dealing with villagers killing as they wish. Zurmi local government area was where they attacked last weekend. Some newspapers reported 35 killed, with thousands fleeing their communities. The president has ordered a combined action of Nigerian security agencies involving even the civil defense, the Air Force, the Army, named them. The Air Force said they will be sending some aircraft to some fighter jets and helicopters to Katsina because of its proximity to Zamfara to deal with the insurgents. So this special special team of 1,000, it is hoped, would deal with the situation on ground. But from the platform also, we can see another crisis in Benue State. Benue State House of Assembly. It continued from last week when it was besieged by the police. We can tell you this morning there is another police action on the Benue State House of Assembly. They prevented 17 members loyal to Governor Samuel Otom from getting access to the assembly complex. There are insinuations that the action may indeed see a situation where those loyal to the stalwart of APC in Benue State, George Akume, those of them that are royal may be granted access. These are what some of them have been telling our correspondents, Dofanaga, right there in Benue State. Makod will be joining her soon for update. And after 15 years, two former governors of Kano State, Musa Kwankwaso and Ibrahim Shekarau, met and resolved their differences. We told you last week on this program how these two politicians have never agreed or shared any platform. They have never belonged to any a single political party. If one defects from one and joins the other quickly jump ships to avoid that contact. But we can tell you that they have united. A meeting that held at the Asokoro Abuja residence of Ibrahim Shekarau with Musa Kwankwaso have presented something for the APC to chew ahead of the 2019 general elections. My colleague is there, Sholaja Simi. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, interesting reports we're getting from Makodi, the Benue State capital, this morning. And like Amechi, you said, Dofanaga will be giving us the on-the-spot situation on ground. Whether these lawmakers who are loyal to Senator George Akume, a former governor of the state who was in office for 2 terms, 1999, 2007, whether indeed his own loyalists will be able to carry the day. I don't know, but there are not a few political analysts who say, look, are these lawmakers, are they scheming for an impeachment? We'll find this out as the day progresses. Now, I will talk about electioneering and elections, but moving away from Nigeria, moving to the African continent. Just in West Africa, Mali, there's been an election yesterday, presidential election. The president of that country, he's seeking re-election, Ibrahim Boubacar Keita. They call him IBK. But the groundle of opposition to the rule of Boubacar Keita is so strong. That election was held yesterday. The big one is in Zimbabwe today. This is about the first time in the history of that country since it gained independence from Britain in 1980 that there will be an election where the old man himself, talking about Robert Mugabe, will not be the key personality involved. But the man came out yesterday from his after the incident in which he was toppled, he was ousted, and he said, look, I don't support the crocodile. Those were his exact words anyway. The crocodile is the man at the helm of affairs now, talking about Mnangagwa, who took over from him after the military intervened in the governance of that country. Robert Mugabe says, I prefer the leader of the MDC, 40-year-old Nelson Chimasa. I prefer him to even the man who is there now. So when Zimbabweans go to the polls today, with an economy which is just about half of what it was at the turn of the century, it will be a time to decide where they really want to go. Can the NDC change the fortunes? Or if Mnangagwa seeks re-election now and wins the election, it will determine where Zimbabweans will go. Amechi.
My colleague also, Adeboye Bodur, is joining us in the studio.
Amechi, what is happening in Zimbabwe is very, very interesting. I recall vividly way back in 1992, I was in Zimbabwe as a reporter, and I went to PF Secretariat, and luckily for me, I met Robert Mugabe, president, and I introduced myself, and he ushered me. They have a big conference at the top floor. It's about 5-story building, could they build and equip, and I was sourcing for materials from their 5th floor, which was the library and the conference room. And he entered, just enter easily and as a party member. And we had about 15 minutes chat, and he said, the PF will be built as a strong political party that other countries in Africa will emulate. But he has reneged on that. He's now campaigning for
the opposition.
And it seems as if we have few Mandelas in Africa. Even when Mandela was dissatisfied with ANC, he didn't leave the party. He remained there until.
But Mugabe has not turned the card of the ZANU PF, the membership card. Has he turned it, or has he asked people to tear it publicly?
But campaign, what is what?
So is it not better than the situation we have in Nigeria?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I say we have few Mandelas
in the world.
In Africa. Then there's a cheerful report from Zamfara, which I think gladdens the heart of those who are interested that peace should actually return to that troubled state. The government has moved very fast, and as at the weekend, 1,000 strong security men were deployed to that state. We hope it will yield fruits in such a way that the activities of the bandits will be halted at last.
Well, this will be additional to the military operation. The president personally flagged off is it 2 years back? Is it that military operation has failed? Now that additional operation is coming, well, more of it needed. Even we are to establish a division there, which I know is already in the offing. We have to do everything possible to curtail the bandits. The situation in Benue, no doubt, is worrisome. I've spoken with a lot of people, and they told me that the problem with Nigeria's 2019 elections will not be INEC. It will largely be the attitude and the neutrality and professionalism of the security agencies, and it appears the police is at the center of it all. You just drew my attention to an editorial by the Daily Trust yesterday, and they raised concerns about the role played by the security agencies in the defection of some lawmakers from APC to PDP, and they raised a critical question. Can we trust the police, the security agencies, to play a neutral role in Nigeria's election come 2019? That's the big question. And they called on all patriots, and I'll add all Nigerian good citizens, to rise up and indeed begin to ask questions of the police over their involvement in campaigns and politics. We know the demarcation between politics and security agencies, and a mix between the two can only bring doom to the country. We'll take a break to take your mails. After that, we'll be linking up with Macaulay to give you on-the-spot analysis and reports of what is going on there.
Welcome back. It's the mail segment, and I'm Amaka Okoro.
I'm Saitin Yari. Welcome.
We'll begin with a mail from Amechi Obochi in Kubwa in Abuja, and he writes on the state of the nation. The mail reads, Buhari sometimes in October 29, 2014, while then in the opposition side, praised the former Speaker of the House of Representatives, Aminu Tambuwal, for defecting to the APC, while declaring a recess immediately for the House of Representatives so that the 2015 budget couldn't be passed into law. Today, the table has turned, and what is happening is that the same Buhari, now president, is begging the same National Assembly that is on recess to reconvene so that his request for INEC's supplementary budget can be approved. Is this not a case of what you sow is what you are reaping? Anyway, I urge the Senate, for the interest of Nigeria, to pay attention to the request, as it is not good enough to throw away the baby with the bad water. May God give our leaders the heart and understanding to move away from talking and acting irrationally, no matter the divide they belong to.
Away from that, Isuame Dogo in Abuja says it is dramatic and immature, the manner in which the APC chairman Adams Oshomole adjectively described Governor Autumn within 48 hours, one as a good and performing governor, and later as a bad leader responsible for the killings and underdevelopment of Benue State. Please, if I may ask, when did Oshomole begin to realize that APC governors have failed, not only in Benue but Kogi, Osun, Nasarawa, Yobe, Bauchi and other states with nothing to show? May God bless Nigeria. That's it on the main segment today. Continue to write through Political Platform at raypower.fm.
Thank you so much for staying with us. Let's quickly take you to Makurdi in Benue State, where we have Dofa and Aga, our correspondent. Thank you so much for joining us, Dofa.
Thank you. Good morning.
So what's happening at the Benue State House of Assembly complex?
Now this morning at about 6 a.m. I received a call saying that there was an unusual security presence at the assembly. And so by the time I got there, I discovered that in fact, the whole street leading into the assembly had been blocked off by police. No one could gain entrance or leave. Even residents were being harassed and all that. About 8 a.m., some other members tried to see if they could go in, about 17 of them. And then they were refused.
Is it those loyal to the governor, Tom?
Yes, those loyal to the governor. You know, there are two factions in the assembly. So there's a group loyal to the governor. There's a group that seems to be loyal to the...
how many of them are in Samuel or Tom's camp?
There are 22, but this morning there were 17 in Makurdi. 4 that they've been invited to the EFCC according to the other members.
How many in Georgia Kumeze camp?
Well, now I'm on my way to the former speaker's residence, the impeached speaker. He is the one that tried to reconvene the house, and the security seems to have allowed those loyal to him and Senator Akume into the.
Do you have their number? How many are they in number?
Okay, they claim that they are 12, but I'll find that out now. But I'm thinking from my own arithmetic, there are supposed to be 30 members of the State House of Assembly. So if those loyal to Otom claim that they are 22, I don't see how those loyal to Akume can be 12.
Do you have an idea about what they want to do? What they want, the other people they want to do today?
Okay, those loyal to the governor claim that the other faction that was allowed them into the assembly have served an impeachment notice on the state governor and suspended the 22 members that are on the other side.
So were you able to speak with the police to find out why they are
No. In fact, the police were highly unruly. In fact,
hello, Dofa.
But they're gassing the whole area.
So you have to come again. You said the police did what?
The police were highly unruly. They were tear gassing the whole area. You know, there was some news actually showed up in protest that they didn't need security, that unusual security presence at the assembly, because there was a court order on Friday directing the security to vacate the assembly premises. So by the time those youth came, in fact the tear gas they tear gassed the whole place, and they were not even allowing anybody to talk to them. You couldn't even go anywhere close.
But I think maybe later in the day you'll be able to get across to the commissioner of police, and probably he will probably explain to you what informed their action this morning.
Yes, I'm still exploring about it. I'm going to go and meet with the impeached speaker now the MP speaker is the one that reconvened the House, and I understand that his own members were allowed entry into the assembly. So
what you're saying in effect is that those loyal to Senator Akume, those House of Assembly members were allowed access to the House of Assembly, while those loyal to Samuel Oton were barred by the police from moving in.
Yeah, very true.
Okay.
Yes, that's what I saw.
Like Bodori advised, just reach out to all the interest groups, speak with the police, speak with the two camps, and subsequently we'll take it off from there.
Thank you very much.
Dofan Aga is our correspondent.
Interesting, Amechi. Just before we got Dofan onto the program, during the introduction, I said it. Is this a move towards an impeachment saga of the governor that we might be looking at? But numbers do not lie. Any House of Assembly, for you to impeach the governor, you need 2/3. Whether it will not be interpreted to mean 2/3 of those.
No, that's to start the process.
Yes,
to start the process.
Well, if you take your mind back in Nigeria, in the course of this dispensation, you recall what happened in Oyo State when former Governor Rashid Ladoja was impeached. He has to go to the court
by the minority.
By the minority, and it took months.
Yes, almost a full year.
Yeah, before he could regain his seat.
Same with Peter Obi of Anambra.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's so sad. It's so sad that these things are
that
repeating
dirty
themselves.
politics is still playing itself.
Yeah.
And in Zamfara earlier, this is not the first time in this current administration that, like, we have mentioned what happened in the past, that the police appear to be intervening in the business of parliamentary business. In Zamfara, they moved in and they always give the reason of trying to indeed prevent breakdown of law and others reason for moving in.
And that's what the police ought to actually do. Prevent a breakdown of law and order. If they see that a situation is getting so heated, and trouble doesn't know who is a lawmaker, it doesn't know who is a commissioner, who is a governor, the police have the responsibility of ensuring that there is law and order. How they go about it,
it must be done in the most professional manner, and not bipartisan.
Non-bipartisan, neutrality, impartiality must be seen by everybody.
We hope it is not true that some lawmakers were allowed to enter the chambers or the premises of the Benue State Assembly, and some others were prevented. We hope it is not true.
That's what Dofan is reporting.
That's what she said. It is. She said, as far as she's concerned, it's a fact. But I know what you're making reference to. It's just that concern that we need to protect our democracy. Loyalty of citizens and institutions is not to the government, but to the Nigerian state, and it is sacrosanct. But let's quickly move over to Kano State, where some developments are taking place. Musa Kwankwasa and Shekarau putting their differences, throwing them aside to present a common front against Governor Ganduje come 2019.
Well, you see, if you know the politics in Kano, this is home of radical politics from the days of NEPU, and it will not be. And in spite of, no matter the differences between or among political actors in Kano, that is one unique experience you can take away from there. They have a way of reconciliation. Even when the late Abubakar Rimi left PRP and went to MPP in the Second Republic as a result of a rift within the PRP then. At the end of it all, towards the emergence of the aborted Republic, there was reconciliation. So it's not a place, because most of the, if you look at deeply, you study deeply the politics of Kano, you will understand the fact that it's perhaps one of the few states in the country where politics is still being played on principle, and they stick to it. They hardly deviate from it. So if disagreement do occur, it does not mean it is a personality clash. It may be on principle, and those things can really actually be sorted out. And I think that is precisely what might have happened between Konkoso and Ibrahim Shekarau. Don't forget the fact that Shekarau was the permanent secretary, cabinet office, the highest office when you are talking about governance,
yes,
at the time, at the time when Konkoso became a governor, along the line, they fell apart, and the certain decisions were taken,
which include the fact that Kwankwaso was moved to the classroom as a teacher.
No, Shekarau
was moved. Sorry,
he said he doesn't have any regret over that.
As from permanent secretary
to the classroom.
No, as school principal.
School principal.
Yes,
okay. Well, there is a season of defections. It did not start today. I was just reading a piece before we came on air. The first defection was recorded, what they call cross-carpeting, in 1952 in the Western House of Assembly, Western Regional Assembly. Some NCC members moving over to the
NC. You mean
NCNC, National Conference of Nigerians and Cameroons, like it was known then, to the Action Group. Since then, it has become a feature in our politics. But lately, some people are saying these defections and cross-carpetings are all about selfish interests of those politicians, and not about national interest
or ideology.
But
people have a right to associate. Whatever makes you as a politician to be, want to cross carpet the old First Republic language, which is now defection or decampment, as we call it now.
When we were doing a parliamentary, it was cross carpeting.
Yes. You cross from one carpet.
But we have on telephone now a Captain Bis Johnson, a political commentator and former officer of the U.S. Army. We want him to share his perspectives on this issue of defections and cross-carpeting. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
So is there anything illegal or immoral about defections?
Absolutely not, Dr. Anekwe. Defections are part of the political process. It's not unique to Nigeria. I am even surprised with all the noise making about the defections. Defections is not only unique to Nigeria. Defections do happen everywhere in the world. As a matter of fact, only last week there is a county commissioner in the state of Oregon in the U.S. that just decamped from a Republican Party to a Democratic Party after being a member of the Republican Party for over 40 years. So it is not something that is unique to us, and I don't think that people are doing that for personal reasons. As a matter of fact, I believe that the campaign or carpet crossing is even good for our democracy. Look at what happened in 2014, following the mass revolt and defections from the People's Democratic Party to the APC. You saw that the PDP, what they're doing right now is that they're rebranding and they're repositioning themselves. So they felt the impact of those defections, because those people who defected sent a very strong message to the People's Democratic Party that what they were doing at that time was unacceptable to them. So now you see the PDP trying to rebrand themselves and try to reposition
But yes, you said nothing bad about it. It's not selfish interest. Now, in whose interest? If it's not selfish interest, is it national interest? And the frequency is beginning to put people off.
It is for national interest. It's not about selfish interest. They are sending a signal to their political parties that, look, what you are doing is not what we are supposed to be doing. If you listen to what those defectors are saying, they say, look, what the APC promised them that they were going to do in 2015 is not what they are doing right now.
Captain, let me ask you this question. The unimplemented 2014 National Conference report, actually, one of the outstanding recommendations there was that once you defect from one party to the other, particularly at the level of the legislature, you must lose your seat. Even as a governor, if you defect, you must lose your seat.
Although that no condition attached.
No condition attached, even though that report remained unimplemented.
You see, that is a very bad recommendation, because let me tell you, some people have made this argument that people vote political party. That is not completely correct. Everybody does not vote political party. Some people vote on issues. Some people vote on persons.
But you need a party platform, because we don't have a provision for independent candidates.
It does not matter. You can
and the Supreme Court says it is the party based on the judgment in the Rivers State governorship tussle, that you vote the party and not the individual. So as long as our laws are concerned, it is all about the party till we have provision for independent candidacy.
It's not all about the party. If you even listen to those people who are vilifying the defectors right now, some of them are, what some of them are saying is that, look, these people won the election under Muhammad Buhari. They wrote on Muhammad Buhari's back that Muhammad Buhari is a brand. If Muhammad Buhari is a brand, it means that APC is not a brand. So the people who voted for them because of Muhammad Buhari. So we have to try to narrow our debate down to something. Let me tell you, I don't vote party. I vote people. I vote on issues. What can you do for the country?
The president said those that defected were just trying to secure their tickets elsewhere. Okay. And you said no, it's in national interest. And I'm wondering, what's the link between a party ticket with national interest? Where do the two meet?
That is an allegation that they're trying to secure tickets. That is an allegation coming from the APC. But let me tell you, in 2014, when a whole bunch of all these people defected from PDP to APC, we did not hear such arguments. Only recently, Alimodu Shirif, my senator, Senator Hope Uzodinma, who won the election under the People's Democratic Party, defected with his people, including my House of Representative member, Honorable Goodluck Opia, to the APC. We didn't hear this noise making. Nobody said they should lose their seat. The noise making is only coming right now because the table has turned. That is why we should be careful of what we wish. APC is having a test of its own medicine. When these people defected in 2014, the APC was jubilated.
We spoke with the presidential advisor, Ait on Friday on this program, and he said those that defected are still with the APC. They are genuinely APC members, and they will work for APC during the 2019 election. Dr. Nepe, look, that's what politicians say. Even in 2014, some of them probably would have said something like that. If they are going to work for Muhammad Buhari, so why leave? Why didn't they stay in the APC and work for Muhammad Buhari? You and I know that it's impossible for them to be in the PDP and be working for Muhammad Buhari. They have to give a reason. Say, look, we are not after Muhammad Buhari. We are not after. We work for him. It's politics. Okay. That's what politicians will always tell you. We just have to thank you so much, Captain Bish Johnson, a political commentator and a former U.S. Army officer. We must say thank you so much for joining us today. Tomorrow is yet another day. Tuesday, we'll be right there waiting for you. Do enjoy your time.